So this is a comment that I received on one of my videos from Mr. Rahul Chakraborty. This is what he says. I would like to answer this question. He says, "Good evening, sir. I have a question like, curiously, I was going through Hindalco's chart today, 6/11/2025. So this is 6th of November. Just it fell by a huge margin today. So let's go to Hindalco chart. I'll type Hindalco. This is the chart of Hindalco. So he's talking 6th of November. Yeah, this is 6th of November. Okay, this huge falling window just fell by a huge margin today. I saw like the rising window coincides with falling window in daily time frame. This is important. Okay, so there is a gap between these two candles that is called as the falling window. In Western technical analysis, they call it falling gap. In Japanese candlesticks terminology, this is called as a falling window. So the low of this candle is 829.25. So let me draw that. So this is 829.25. Let's give it blue color. And the high of this candle is 795. So let's do that. 795. So between the low of this candle and the high of this candle, there is this falling window. This is the upper line of the falling window. This is the lower line of the falling window. And a falling window tends to become resistance, which you see it manifest here. This entire window has become resistance. Stock tries to pick up and then falls back, breaks the 50 SMA. Okay. Now he is saying that the rising window coincides with falling window. Now he's talking about there are two rising windows here. One is this rising window between the high of this candle and the low of this candle. There is a rising window. Then another rising window is between the high of this candle, which is 826.50, and the low of this candle, which is 827. So there is a small rising window here as well. There is a rising window here as well. Both windows have been broken by the falling window. So the low of this rising window is this level. The high of this candle is the low of this rising window. And a rising window tends to become support. The low of this rising window, the gap between these two candles, the low of this rising window is the high of this particular candle. Both of these lows are broken by one large falling window. So if two windows are getting broken in one single candle and in one single falling window, that is extremely bearish. So now both of these rising windows become void. Once they become void, they are no longer support. Okay. So this is a disaster for the stock. The stock closed minus 5.17% in a single day, closing both the windows, which is super bearish for the stock, which is why you notice that even if the stock went up, that falling window, see, unless the high of the falling window breaks, the falling window remains as resistance. Okay. So unless this high level is broken, this entire zone is called as resistance zone. And you see what happened. It went into the resistance zone, fell back, closed below the 50 SMA. How do we analyze if they come each other? The falling window should become active since it negated the rising window, correct? So I discussed this already. So since you have the falling window now, both of these windows have become void. Unless the high of this falling window gets broken, the resistance still remains intact. So there is bearishness in this stock. See, here I'm only discussing technicals. I'm not talking about the orange trading system. We have to look at liquidity, comparative, technical, fundamental, and market analysis. Then we do risk management, trade execution, position sizing. Here I am simply discussing a chart, and I am a SEBI registered research analyst. All of my content is for educational purposes only. So you have to do your own due diligence. By the way, you see these two candles. There is again another falling window here. So forget about this falling window. Now you have another falling window which could act as resistance. This is today's market price. This is today's candle. The market is not yet closed. If that falling window resistance gets broken, then that falling window resistance becomes void. Then this falling window again gains prominence or significance. That is how you analyze windows on the chart. Okay, you get to know whether there is bearishness in the stock or bullishness in the stock. But that's technical candlesticks price action knowledge. What we look for is a base formation. Is there a base formation in the chart? How many points are there in the base? Is it a stage 2 confirmed uptrending stocks? Things like that. So just to answer this question by Rahul Chakravarti, this is how you do analysis of falling windows and rising windows. If one window gets broken, then we say that the window has become void. Okay. Thank you so much.